Hey guys, welcome back to the CTE Companion. It's a big news drop yesterday. Ronda Rousey will be fighting Gina Carano on Netflix for MVP, Most Valuable Promotions. That is the Jake Paul card. I think that this is a really big deal. That's two very popular fighters coming out of retirement. Ronda Rousey last fought in 2016. She lost to Amanda Nunes. And Gina Carano, most known for her acting, but she had an MMA career before that. Her last fight was Chris Cyborg back in 2009. I think that this is actually going to be a really big deal. Not because of the fight. I don't think that this fight is going to be good or very entertaining, but because of a few different details. First of all, the fact that it has now come out that Dana White and the UFC has said no to this fight. It was pitched to them first and they declined it. That really shows where they're at right now. This fight is going to be a big draw. Ronda Rousey, a top 3, top 5 biggest star that they've had. Gina Carano, very well-known actress at this point in her career. Did The Mandalorian, did Fast and the Furious, did a few other things. She's definitely more known as an actress at this point. Obviously, she hasn't fought in 17 years, and Ronda Rousey, it's been almost 10. Her last fight was December 2016, so the 10-year anniversary of that's coming up. But these are both massive stars. And I think had this fight popped up a year or two ago, they would have taken it. But now, because they don't have to sell tickets, because they don't have to sell pay-per-views, everything's going to sell out no matter what. And Paramount Plus is a subscription. They don't have to sell the pay-per-views. A fight like this, they're not going to take. They've done wild things in the past, like had CM Punk come in and a few other freak show attractions. These two, at least they're known for having MMA fights. It really shows where they're at. I imagine that at this point, everything is so budgeted and corporatized down. They probably have a budget for each show. They know exactly how much they're going to make. They're paid by the show. They're paid by Paramount for their numbered events, and they're paid for their fight nights. I don't think they don't have to sell tickets. They don't have to sell pay-per-view. So it's just not worth it for them anymore. Ronda Rousey, I'm sure she's asking a 7-figure sum, and maybe Gina Carano as well, to do this. And while it will be a big attraction and a big fight, it's all going to be Paramount subscriptions. It's not going to be pay-per-view buys. If they were selling pay-per-views, this would add a bunch. Imagine having this on the White House card. Have this as the main event opener of the White House card. Imagine how many pay-per-view buys it would have. This would draw viewers. This would draw eyes to the sport. These are two huge, huge names, and they just aren't doing that anymore. They're really not in the business of selling fights. Everything is so regimented. They already have all their fighters how they want it. They just cut Gelton Almeida. That's a top-ranked heavyweight in a very, very shallow heavyweight division. He's coming off 2 losses, I believe. That's a top 10 guy. That's just not what they're doing. They're in the business of making money now. He probably commanded too much money being a ranked guy and just wasn't drawing and putting on boring fights. However, this is happening for MVP. They are doing a press tour that's kicking off in March. The fight is happening on May 16th, and they're going to do, I guess, a 3-month press tour for this. I think that this is really good and really cool. The UFC, it's so dead. It's so boring. It's so dry. There's no press tours. There's no face-to-faces. There's no world tours like there used to be. It's cool to see MVP doing this. The undercard has not been announced. This is going to be a full MMA card. So who knows? The co-main event might be something like Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee. We saw with the GFL, which obviously ultimately ended up falling through, that there are a good amount of fighters who are free agents. They had a bunch of signings, like maybe an Anthony Pettis or, as I already said, a Tony Ferguson. They might have these kind of fighters on the undercard, which is cool. Maybe they'll have some of their own homegrown stars. I really like this, having a second option, having an alternative that PFL really isn't, something based in the United States, something that's actually well promoted with some energy, with some hype, with some media. It's really what's lacking in the MMA community. There's no excitement or anything. It's just people make their own excitement. Fights get announced by Dana White going live on Instagram. There's no tours. There's no big events, there's no big press conferences, and I really hope that MVP is able to change that. A few little details about this fight. I don't think anyone really cares about it. Like, the outcome is pretty much predetermined. Ronda Rousey's obviously going to win. She opened as a minus 700 favorite. It's down to now a minus 400, which I think is too close. Gina Carano hasn't fought in 17 years. She's 7-1. She never really fought any big competition. Her only real fight is Chris Cyborg, who she got TKO'd by. Ronda Rousey, obviously 13-2. Huge star, a lot of first round finishes, multiple time women's champion. This fight is taking place at featherweight, not at bantamweight. Ariel Helwani will be hosting the press conferences. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of all there is to say about it. Right now, we'll see what the undercard is. We'll see how the hype goes. And what kind of strike is Ronda Rousey throwing in this picture? It's like a corkscrew Superman jab. I don't think that this will be the best fight, but I think it'll draw a lot of eyes. And if they're able to capitalize on this, get a good undercard, get a good promotion, have some good production, it might lead to a viable second alternative promotion, which would be really cool to see and is desperately needed at this point. Have a great day. Remember to like and subscribe, and thank you.